All right, y'all. So my first love, my oldest daughter, moved out in November. So what, about 5 months ago? It was pretty tough for me. Like, I'm not gonna tell the story. It was tough. I literally couldn't sleep for over a week. But I realized that I was being tormented. Like, I was literally allowing the enemy to torment me. I mean, so many thoughts ran through my head. I started beating myself up like, did you do enough? Did you give her enough before she left? Did you tell her enough things? Did you show her a good example? Like, all these things are going through my head, right? And then I was scared. Like, she wasn't under my roof anymore, under my covering, and she could make her own decisions, and she would have to live with it. You know, she would have to live with the consequences, and in turn, I would too. You know, and all these things, all these emotions were like turning in my head and my heart, right? And I was like really grieving. It was like a real grieving process for me, but she never knew it until now. When she see this video, she'll know it. But I had to be cool, you know, in front of her. I had to be cool, supportive, because she's grown. She's 20. She'll be 21 in a couple months, and she's not my baby no more. I mean, well, she's gonna always be my baby, but you know what I mean. She's not a baby anymore. So it was literally one of the hardest transitions, but thank God for Jesus. I asked tons of questions, and I would be searching different stuff on YouTube from Christian parents who, you know, was going through the same thing. And then I bought books, all kind of stuff. So I just wanted to share with y'all my journey and what I learned and how I'm at peace now, to kind of help anybody that may be going through it. So what really helped me was recognizing who was talking. Where does fear come from? It come from the enemy. Where does torment come from? The enemy. God is a God of peace, and I had none. So he wasn't in it, you know? So that's the first thing. Who's talking? Remember I said you are a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. Who's talking? So that was the first thing. And then I had to take my peace back. Once I realized I didn't have it, I had to take my peace back and then bind up the enemy. Like I told you in that other video, bind him up, because he don't have no right. And once I did that, I was at peace. I remembered what faith was, you know, and I had to trust God. I had to trust that he had her no matter what. And I had to trust what I put in her, because I know I put good stock in her. And I had to trust her. I made a decision, and I told her that no matter what happens, no matter what she does, no matter what happens at all, I'm gonna be there no matter what. If she fall, I'm gonna be there to help her up. You know, whatever happens, she can expect me to always tell the truth, but always be there. Always give her great advice. I'll never stop being her parent, but I'll never get mad at her or allow our relationship to change or suffer because she don't follow the advice I tell her to do, right? That was the hard part for me, letting go of the control. But I wanted her to know that I'm always here, good, bad, or ugly. That's how our Heavenly Father is with us. He loves us, and we can venture off, not do what the words say or what he tell us to do, but he always there. We mess up. I know I did so many times, and he right there to help us through whenever we come to him. I know he always there for me. I could be in the worst of the worst situation, and he there. He come through for me. So that's what I wanted to be for her. I never want her to not come to me, like feel embarrassed or like she gonna be judged if she come to me, right? I know I'm graced to be her parent, and I have her answer in my mouth. So I want her to be comfortable enough to come to me and get the answer that she have, right? I always want to have her ear. And even if she doesn't listen right away, I know the Lord will keep nudging her, and she'll hear when she needs to the most, right? Like, she gonna hear my voice. Even when she gone, she gonna hear my voice. I know I still hear things my grandma told me. She's been gone for over 10 years now, but I still hear her voice over in my head telling me, "No, TaNia, you know you shouldn't have did that. Girl, you know you need to go and apologize." But I hear what she done said to me before, you know, like, you know, I know, so I know she'll hear me. I know she'll hear my voice no matter what, you know? So I wanted to maintain that influence, but let go of the control. So that's what I decided to do. And then the other thing, I pray for a whole lot, like a whole lot, way more than I did when she was here. But you know, I prayed for her a lot when she was here, but it's a different kind of prayer because I don't have control, right? So I'm just praying and trusting God with the prayers. I have to have faith in what I'm praying and expect to see it. I don't get mad if I don't see it right away. I can't. I told you guys in one of my videos that the Lord said, if you go by what you see, you never have what you want. And faith is the substance of things hoped for and not seen. So I have faith in the prayers that I pray over my daughter. So I was reading Kenneth Hagin's book, and I think it's Being Led by the Spirit, and he was talking about this lady who, she had a daughter who was a prostitute, out on drugs, all kind of stuff, and she just was, you know, she was just so hurt, and she was praying and talking to God and all that stuff, and nothing changed, right? And so she talked to Kenneth Hagin, and he was like, you know, you have to have faith, and you have to treat her like she's already who you want her to be, right? Like, you have to do that. And so many people, and I'm not saying my daughter is that girl at all. she not nowhere near that girl, thank God. But what I'm saying is, so many people have relationships with their children or their spouses, and they get angry and frustrated because they're not who they want them to be, right? They're not portraying who they're praying them out to be and all this stuff. And it's all that's going to do, get angry and frustrated. It's going to push them away more, right? What he was saying in the book is, treat her like she is who you say she is, right? And when she did, man, it changed so drastically. And I remember that book. I read it probably about 6 years ago, but I remember that, and that's what I decided to do with everybody in my life. Like, pray for them, talk when the ears open to hear, but pray for them and believe what you're praying, and treat them like who they already are. So in that story, the girl, she ended up being a world-renowned, I think she ended up being a world-renowned evangelist or something like that. She was somebody really powerful. She changed her life around, had got married, had kids, all kind of stuff, just because of that change of attitude in her mother, right? So that was a powerful story, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. You know, if you ever going through, because when I was researching, I saw so many people who were going through different things with their kids, and it made me like, praise God that I wasn't. But I know that that's something, like, that is something you get, you know, you put so much in your kids, and they may not do what you tell them to do, but you have to still be there, for one, and for two, you have to pray, and believe what you're praying. See your children, whoever you're praying for, see them through your eyes of faith, and trust that they'll turn out better than you ever could expect. God does exceedingly abundantly above all we could ever think. I thank God so much that when my two older daughters were teenagers and hanging out more, they was hanging out so much outside the house, like I never saw them. So the Lord led me to start family night, which was mandatory dinner, fun at home, at least 2 days a week, right? And I'm telling you so much, obedience is better than sacrifice. When he leads you to do something, listen. Because of that tradition that I started over 2 years ago, my babies come home every week and have a meal and conversation with me, and, you know, do some fun stuff. And that helps me so much, just knowing that I get that time with them, right? So my advice is, if your baby is approaching adulthood, or you're already in that, you know, uncomfortable spot that I was in, just be at peace. Trust God and trust what you put in them, and always be there for them, no matter what. No matter what, be there. Never stop being a parent, but relinquish that control and pray a whole lot. And pray the word, because it never ever returns to you void. But don't just pray. Have faith in what you're praying and in the one you're praying to. And I want to add, start putting the right things in them right now. When they're young, put the right things in them. Be a good example. Be who you want them to be. I did a video a while ago on parenting. It was called Do What I Say and Not What I Do. Don't be one of those parents. Be the example. You are their first and primary example. So use that spot very well. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm so grateful that I'm in a relationship with the one that does. He's graced us to be parents from the time that our children are infants until we leave the earth. And even after the end. Remember, I said they'll keep hearing your voice. So never stop talking. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop new content.